Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video explaining why I made that hoodie. In the reveal, with the unboxing, I talked a little bit about it, but so basically, I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was a kid. I think I was in like third grade, maybe fourth grade, something like that. I was kind of not doing well grade wise and very disruptive to class. And my teachers recommended to my parents that I go and I get diagnosed. So my parents were really diligent, open minded. I got diagnosed. Sure enough, had ADHD. Got put on a bunch of different medications at first. Nothing was really working. I don't remember what they were. And eventually I ended up getting put on Adderall. And then I was on Adderall from like third, fourth grade, somewhere in there, till pretty much my senior year in high school. And then after that, I stopped taking it. And it did help. Obviously, I suffered from all the same things that everybody else, most people suffer who take ADHD meds. The common side effects, for those who don't know, the common side effects are like moodiness, complete loss of appetite. Those are like the two common ones. Some people get like headaches frequently or like an upset stomach. It depends, really. It depends person to person. I didn't have those. I just had complete loss of appetite and moodiness. I was kind of I was a, I was an unpleasant. As I got older and I was on it, I was a really unpleasant person to be on or to be around when I was on my meds. There were a couple times in high school, actually, I had gotten into fights with my parents because of my attitude. And that was more, I think, a contribution to my meds than me, because I myself am I'm an introverted person, and I'm a pretty like calm, happy-go-lucky person for the most part. So for me to be really confrontational all the time and to just pick, not necessarily pick fights for no reason, but to give like unneeded sarcastic responses to everything, that was the mid stalking. But anyway, so fast forward, high school ends, I stopped taking the meds. I go to college, technically a trade school. I went and I studied fine art for 4 years. Didn't take any meds through there. Did great, like pretty much passed with all A's. I think a couple B's, but mostly all A's. Did great, graduated, all that. And then I started working. I did like freelance and stuff like that. And then just working for myself. I got into like content creation and like streaming. I did that for pretty much the freelance, content creation, and streaming. Those three. I did that for pretty much like 10 years, roughly. And then recently I've pretty much stepped back from that. I mean, obviously the content creation part I haven't stepped back from, because I have this YouTube channel where I'm sharing the growth of this and all that. But anyway, I don't want to get too off topic here. Common trait with ADHD. Segue, you get off topic, and then trying to get your way back is impossible. Anyway, so I went through like this like whole like mental health ordeal a couple years ago, and I started to get help, mental health help, medicated, and therapy. Medication really helped. Therapy helped. I didn't actually get back on ADHD meds off the rip. I got other stuff sorted out. And then my therapy wasn't even for ADHD at the time. I didn't even bother with it. I had other stuff I had to deal with. But once that stuff got sorted and whatnot, sorry, I'm trying to recall things in a relatively ordered process. I then decided, hey, like, I noticed that my ADHD was still sort of getting in the way. I was conflicting with things, and I'm pretty good at controlling it. a side note briefly. So ADHD is basically in the frontal lobe, and for a lot of people who have it in childhood, if it's very minor in childhood, and your frontal lobe doesn't finish developing until I think you're 24, 25. I could be wrong about this. I'm not a doctor. I just remember reading and watching some podcasts with the doctor talking about it. But basically, most people who have it in childhood grow out of it. At least the on the less severe side. People who have it very severely do not grow out of it. It's a continuous lifelong thing. Obviously, I have it lifelong, but there are some people who do grow out of it once your frontal lobe finishes developing. Anyway, so I decided that I was like, hey, I went to my doctor and I was like, hey, I wanted to try and get medicated for ADHD again. I was on this and it worked, and they were like, well, they didn't want to put me on what I was on, so they put me on something else, which is fine, and it worked. But the problem was, the kicker was, it worked, but I also suffer from migraines, headaches and migraines. I suffered from it a lot when I was a kid, and then it came to pass when I was in school, like trade school, college, basically, however you want to view it. I didn't really struggle with them too much then, and then as I've gotten older, the headaches and migraines have gotten worse again, to the point where now I get migraines very frequently. I get them when the weather changes, I get them when I'm stressed, I get them when I don't eat, I get them when I don't drink enough water, I get them from doing certain workouts, from like muscle tension in my body, just whatever. So the problem is I would take my ADHD meds, and then I wouldn't eat, and they would trigger a migraine. So even though they did work, I had to basically get off them because they were pretty much impacting the health of my daily life. I kept getting migraines, and so we're getting there. Don't worry. I'm trying to do this in a quick, timely manner, but we're getting there. So I got off my ADHD meds, and then I decided, hey, in therapy, I'm off my ADHD meds. I'll let my therapist know. And then I started pointing out things I struggle with ADHD wise, because I then decided that I needed to become more reflective and more aware of like what the issue was, what things were. Because when you go to therapy, it's behavioral cognitive therapy, so like they can give you things to do, things to help, things to be like mindful of, to look out for, triggers, etc. For those who haven't gone to therapy or don't know when it comes to ADHD stuff. So I started working on paying attention to things that I struggle with, like trigger and mood, trigger and anger. I used to struggle with time blindness, but I don't anymore. That's a very common one for, again, anybody who's watching this video and doesn't understand ADHD. Time blindness is, you just basically, time doesn't really exist to you if you don't really pay attention to like clocks or your phone or a watch or whatever. Like, you could be like, oh, this is gonna take me 5 minutes, but 5 minutes is such an arbitrary time. Like, you say it out loud, but I mean, I've had friends who have ADHD who tell me, oh, hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes, and like 2 hours later they show up. Just to give you an example, they just literally lose track of time. Anyway, so time blindness was kind of one that I outgrew. I don't have that problem. So moodiness, anger, outlashes and anger, still kind of deal with those here and there. Much better now. Almost like, I wouldn't say non-existent, but much better. Let's see what else. One of the big ones for me is sound. I do get really like overwhelmed by sound, loud sound, too many people talking, being in a loud crowd. If someone's talking and the TV volume is the same volume as their voice, I can't filter one out and focus on the other. It feels like my brain's trying to rip itself in half. Just really uncomfortable. People talking super loud, that's really uncomfortable and like overwhelming. basically I spent therapy just kind of working because I didn't have medication to help, so I spent therapy working on things that are ADHD related that affect me, whatever. Anyway, now I know we're 10 minutes in. I know you're probably like, why aren't we getting to why I designed that? So thinking about ADHD, thinking about all the stuff I just said, right? This whole last 10 minutes. There's bits of calmness in ADHD, right? So when you hyperfixate, there's bits of calmness. When you have the right amount of noise where it's not overwhelming and it's not understimulating, because you can have both. For someone who's neurotypical, that can exist, right? You have the perfect harmony. That's why people who have, I don't know if you know this, slight tangent. If you ever go on YouTube and look up brown noise, people who have ADHD and listen to brown noise, it does like the magic tinglies for their brain. It allows them to not have like the chaotic noise going on in their head. But anyway, back to this. So there's a lot of like ADHD related apparel, merch, clothing out there, but I wanted something that represented like the chaos of it, hence the design. Like the blue like wild, crazy, intricate just spasm of line work and design, followed by like the orange, which is kind of like the calmness that ascends around the chaos, right? Because it's not constant chaos all the time. So that's basically the whole point to the design. Is I wanted something that showed that like you have these areas that ascend from the chaos, which is calmness, but you also have the chaos, which is also going on all the time, or a lot of the time. And there's really nothing that existed that I'm aware of that showed that, and that showed that like that. So that's why I created the ADHD hoodie. And I just thought, I don't know, it just seemed fitting. I mean, it's loud. I mean, it's pretty. It's loud. And there aren't a lot of like ADHD related clothing that I'm aware of. If someone watches this and points it out, then hey, my fault. But nothing that I'm aware of that's loud like that, but also, pretty attractive. I know it's a bit bold for some people. Some people like low-key stuff. I understand. But it's ADHD. I mean, for all of us who struggle with ADHD and have to deal with it day to day, for me at least, that's a pretty fitting design for like what we deal with, for like what it is. So related to that, side note, there's another version of that. There's a black version of this, so instead of orange, it's black, but the design's still blue, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% on that. I'm pretty sure it's still blue. So whatever's orange on the hoodie is black. Hi. Hi, May. My cat's here. Hey, sweetie. So, yeah, the black design will be up at some point on the site. I'll be getting a sample of it in probably a couple weeks. So I'll try and show you guys that. I'm buying a sample of it for a family member because they have ADHD and they really like the design, but they want the black variant. So yeah, so that's pretty much why I created that hoodie. I hope you guys like it. I really do. That's the honest truth. That's why the cattail. I was gonna pick her up and show you guys, but yeah. Kitty cat. On the camera sideways. She's gonna leave you, sit behind the camera and poke it. So if you guys fall over randomly, that's May, my cat. Anyway, yeah, that's why I created that hoodie. That's why I created a lot of the clothing that I wear, is either from personal experience, personal struggles, or knowing that other people go through the same thing. And there just isn't really representation for it. I want to create cool clothing. I want to create clothing that obviously is comfortable and looks nice, but also aside from that, because we do have clothing that does just that, it's comfortable and looks nice, but also stuff that like has representation, you know, represents stuff that people struggle with day to day. So like this t-shirt, our anxiety awareness t-shirt, it's up on the site. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching. It's a 15-minute video. I may. And that's the gist of it. It's my explanation. It's my ADHD journey. I hope that resonated with somebody, and I hope that makes it more transparent as to why. May. I hope that makes it more transparent as to why it got created, and why. I mean, a lot of the designs get created. There's purpose behind them. Anyway, alright. That's it for this video. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great one. Don't forget to eat. Drink water. I know eating with ADHD is so difficult, especially people who are medicated, because you don't want to and you're not hungry. If you can drink your calories, do so. Whether it's, you know, like soup broth or soup, or a smoothie, you know, just find a way that works for you, that won't make you nauseous, but try and drink water and get something in your stomach, because it'll pay off. It's really important to take care of yourself. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.